Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome. How the heck do I get this off my screen, first of all? Um, sorry, I'm still trying to test out new things here, like little intros. Hopefully, I can get an outro together as well. Um, but yeah, y'all, Barry, what is he doing? But let me just say, hold on, because I feel like I'm jumping all over the place. I was going to say, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Tiffany. Thanks for joining, where I completely fangirl over the show Barry on HBO. And there's a bunch of other shows that I like too, but this has been one of the main ones that I've really discussed on the podcast. And if you've been watching me from the beginning, then you know that this is how I started the show. So it's all full circle for me talking about the last season. We're getting into episode 6 today, so we only got 2 more episodes until the series finale, and then the show is over. Like, what the heck? Crazy stuff happening. But when is it ever not crazy? You know what I mean? So last episode 5. It felt like just one big dream, one big nightmare, and it was really all about where Barry and Sally were after they pretty much ran off together, just to kind of, I guess, if anybody forgets or anything like that, just to kind of run back your memory. So Barry escaped from prison. He's a fugitive. He ran off with Sally, so now Sally's a fugitive, and they've been gone for 8 years. So there was a big time jump in this episode, and a lot of people were confused. They were like, is this real? Is this a dream? I don't know. Bill Hader confirmed that it is real. So Barry and Sally are married. They're living out in the middle of nowhere. They have a son now who is 8 years old. I think his name is John. And this is really all Barry's fantasy, as far as this is what he's always wanted. This is what he always used to dream about. Like, as soon as he met Sally, I feel like all of his visions, all of his dreams have always been like being with her and having a family and all this stuff. And I think at the time it just seemed so out of reach because of what he was doing and where he was at in his life. And now that he's finally got it, he's happy with it, but Sally's definitely not happy, clearly. And we see that in episode 5, and just it was very like it was all like their mundane life, but it just seemed really cold and quiet, and you could just tell that's not like a happy home. And I feel really bad for the kid, like so bad, because he has no idea that his parents are killers. Except for, I guess, in Sally's case, it was self-defense, but you could defend her on that, but the fact that she ran off with Barry, it's like she made that choice to go off with the murderer and to have a kid with him and all this stuff. So I can't fully defend her on that. I understand that she has her own trauma, and now her and Barry have this like trauma bond, and I think that's why she feels so linked to him, like even before they had the kid. And now they share a child, so it's like if she tries to run, if she tries to get away from him, like I don't know what that's going to look like. Like, her trying to take their son away would set him off, I feel like. So, I don't know. I don't know if she actually would try to run, but I'm just saying if that ends up happening next episode or in the last one, I don't know. I'm just scared for her, really. But in this episode that we're talking about today, episode 6, we kind of got to see a little bit more of what's been going on in LA. Fuchs is out of prison now. He looks like a freaking... I don't even know, but he walked out. He walked out of the prison all tattooed up and black nails and everything. I was like, okay, he's kind of serving a little bit, whatever. But then we saw Hank, and y'all know I love Hank. And Hank still, he still looks fly. I think some of us kind of thought, after what happened with Cristobal, that he was just going to be, down and out and depressed. And, and then you see him, and he just seems like himself for the most part. But then the facade, I should say, starts to crack, because Fuchs is a moment where Fuchs mentions Cristobal's death, and he's basically saying oh, we all know you had him killed, but he's kind of glorifying it, giving him praise for it. And it's oh, you're the big bad boss man now, you had your own boyfriend killed. And Hank is I didn't have Cristobal killed, that was not me, I didn't kill him. And in that moment, and Anthony Kerrigan, the actor that plays Hank, his like emotional expressions are really good. Like you could literally see how hurt he still is by Cristobal, and I think he's trying to compensate for it by being this like big boss man, and he has like um his own house, but it looks like almost like his own company or something, and it's called like NoHo Ball, which is supposed to be like NoHo Hank and Cristobal. That's like their couple's name, and then he has like a statue of Cristobal. It all just feels very, it feels disingenuous, to be honest, and that's not to say that Hank didn't love Cristobal. I really think that he did, but it just feels very like performative, and like maybe that's not the right word, but it just seems like he's trying to fill a void, maybe, or um I don't know. It's like he's trying to memorialize him, but it's like it was, Fuchs wasn't completely off. Like it was kind of by your doing. Like had you not taken that deal with the Chechens, had you not killed those guys during that sand project and everything, like things could have been different. So I think, and he knows that. So I think it's just kind of weird. But I understand that he's trying to cope, trying to process his own way. So I won't be too hard on him because he's still my favorite character. But anyway, so we got to see a little bit with the other characters, and I think that's what we were missing with episode 5, where a lot of people were kind of like, what's going on? Like, what about, and like what's going on in LA? What about all these other characters? And now we're kind of seeing that. And thank God Kusano's son did not die after he shot him. I thought he had died, but I guess there's still a lot of like things missing. What happened between those 8 years, we don't fully know. But it sounds like Kusano had went to Israel for a while, and I guess he kind of like, I don't know if he got spiritual or kind of like found himself, and maybe he kind of just realized how selfish he's always been. I don't know, unless he's putting on a show again, who knows. But he came to Leo, his son, and he was just like, I don't want this movie to be made about Barry. Like, you're glorifying a serial killer. And not only is he a serial killer, but he also killed the woman I love, talking about Janice. And he's like, I came here to stop it. Like, I don't want nothing to do with it. And of course his son, Leo, he's like, yeah, right. Like, when have you ever not wanted the spotlight? Which, you can't blame him after everything that's happened. So it seems like after, maybe after all that stuff happened, that Kusano left, and I guess he didn't really have contact with his son, or maybe his son kind of like cut him off for a while. Who knows? But his grandson comes in. He's like way older now, and he's kind of just like looking at his dad, like, what is Grandpa doing here? Like, why is he here? So clearly there's a strain there. There's like, clearly they haven't been talking, or they haven't kept in touch since everything's happened. So I'm really curious as to what happened. I mean, like I said, we know he got shot and everything, but it's like, did he just leave after that? Like, what happened, But I guess maybe that's probably stuff that we'll never really know. I think maybe we'll just have to fill in the blanks with our own minds, I guess. Because there's only 2 episodes left, so there's no way they're going to be able to show everything that's happened in the 8 years, but I guess we can kind of just come up with our own interpretations, I guess. And then, and then back with Barry and Sally, they're a mess, of course. And Barry is out on the hunt again, because he's not a changed man. If you guys thought he was, he's not. Even though he tried to play like he was a man of faith now and all this stuff, and like he doesn't get angry, and he had this whole speech with his son, like, yeah, I used to be that way, and now I'm this and I'm that, and it's like, dude, like, we see right through it. And I think his son kind of sees through it too. Like, his son is young, and of course he doesn't know like his parents' past and everything, but the kids aren't stupid. Like, they know when something's up or when something's not right. And I think his son clearly knows that something's not right. I don't know if he notices it more with Barry, or probably more so with his mom, because Sally is like, she's always drinking and she's not very present, and which is sad, because her parents were like that. Like, her parents weren't alcoholics, but her parents were like emotionally unavailable and couldn't really give her what she needed growing up. And it seems like she's kind of that same way with her son. And I'm sure she didn't plan for it to be that way, but it's like that's how it's unfolding. So again, feel so bad for the kid. Like, he deserves better parents. Anyway, Barry's like, yeah, I gotta kill Kusuno because they're gonna make this movie about me, and I don't want this coming out. I don't want my son to see it. Blah, blah, all these excuses. And even Sally calls him out on it. She's like, I think you just want to kill him because he turned you in. Like, let's be real. And he's like, well, no, like it's because of this and because of that. And he makes the decision to go to LA, and he leaves behind Sally and John, and so Sally has to hold down the fort, and Sally is like in no position to like be a mom and take care of her kid and keep the house okay, and she's just not there, and even I think even again her son knows that too, and he's just like, please don't go, like almost like, don't leave me here with mom, like please don't go, like why do you have to leave, and I think too because it seems like Barry is like the stay-at-home dad. There's no way he could work because he's a fugitive. And he's there, I'm assuming, homeschooling him every single day until, as a kid, like, you spend that much time with your parent like that. That's like his only friend, basically. Like, he plays with that one kid, but it's almost like Barry is like his only friend, and so him leaving and going away is just like, what, like, to John, it's like, that makes no sense. Like, why would you just leave? Why would you not take us? But he goes to LA, and which is very bold. Like, yes, it's been 8 years, but you're still like, you're still liable to get like arrested if somebody caught you. And he's like in broad daylight watching Kusuno go to his son's house, getting out of the car, cocking his gun, and I'm like, bro, like, that's bold. Like, anybody could see you. Everybody has phones. Like, you have to remember, he's in LA again. He's not out in the middle of nowhere. He's in LA. So if anybody spotted him and recorded him or whatever, like, he would have been done for. And so he's watching him, and it's funny, but it's also just like, oh my goodness. You could tell Barry is like looking for a sign from God, or he's looking for some type of validation to let him know that, yes, it's okay for me to go after Kusuno because it's for the right reasons, or, because I'm trying to protect my family, I'm trying to protect my son, so he has to go down. Not even knowing that Kusuno is saying, I don't want this movie to come out, like, he doesn't want the movie to come out. At least that's what he's saying. That's what he told the executive. And the executive is like, this movie's going to be made with or without you. So, clearly they don't care what he has to say. And that's a real, like, reflection. Let me say this right. That's a real reflection of Hollywood, because they do that, And I'm someone who likes true crime, and I obviously, like, I think for a lot of people, like, learning about serial killers or learning about these awful crimes, it's fascinating, and it's just like, whoa, I can't believe that happened. But then when you start making movies and TV shows about it, and it's like the main person is the serial killer and they're the star, and then you got people, it kind of does become that thing where it's like, okay, what are we doing here, And I think that's kind of like the point that Kusuno is trying to make, that like you're immortalizing this guy. Like, even if Barry was dead, now you're bringing his name back up. Now you're gonna have people talking about him and making him like this character, and he is a real person. And Kusuno and Janice and all of them and Jim, they all went through this. Like, this is real stuff that happened to real people, and you want to make a movie about it because it's gonna earn you a lot of money, But again, the executive, she don't care. She's just like, no, we gonna do the movie anyway. But again, Barry does not know all that because he doesn't ask questions. He just has whatever in his mind, and he goes and does it. So he's watching him, and then what stops him is when Leo's son, Kusuno's grandchild, he gets dropped off from the bus, and he's going inside, and he sees him going in there, and he kind of like, I think he pauses, maybe because he's the dad now as well, and he's kind of just like, well, like, I don't know if it was like a guilt thing, or if it was more just like, I don't want people's, like, he didn't want witnesses, or if it was more like, I have a son now, and I don't know. I really don't know what was going on with Barry there, but clearly it stopped him in his tracks, and so he didn't go after Kusuno at that point. But later in the episode, he tries again, and y'all, the way that this episode ended, let me just say, it might be my favorite ending to any episode throughout this whole series, which is a big thing to say because there's been a lot of good, like, there's been a lot of good cliffhangers, but this one in particular had me, like, I was, like, clapping, okay? Like, in the living room, like, yes, bring back Jim, please. That's what I was kind of hoping for. So, make a long story short, he goes after Kusno again. It's nighttime now. The door is like kind of like wide open, and so to Barry, he's like, "Well, this is my son. Like that means I gotta go. I gotta go and kill him." And to me, it seems suspicious as well because I'm like, why would you like go into your, I don't know, I still don't know for sure if Kusno was in on it, but like that was just weird to me. It was like, why would you go into the house and then leave the door wide open and it's nighttime? You don't know who could be walking by, who could walk in. Even if you think Barry is dead, like, why, again, that's not smart. So and Kusno's been hiding for like 8 years, so it would just be weird for him to like let his guard down all of a sudden. I don't know. So anyway, Barry's creeping up, almost about to pull out his gun, and he's peeking in the house, and then all of a sudden, you know, he gets snatched up, and I was like, ooh, let's get into it. It was Jim Moss, baby. He had him strapped to the chair in that famous garage of him, or should I say infamous garage, because we have no idea what he does in there to people. We've seen a glimpse of it with Kusno, like when he had him in the garage that one episode, and he was like yelling at him. Was that season 3? I don't even remember, God. But he was like yelling at him, and he was like nose to nose, face to face, like, why are you protecting Barry? If you guys remember that moment, let me know in the comments. But that was a really intense moment, and it completely broke, you know, Kusno down. So we've seen him do that, and then he captured that guy, that reporter guy, and he came out of it speaking a different language. So it's like he has some type of like mental torture tactic thing that he's doing. Like, obviously he's not killing people, but he's doing something to their minds. And so I'm really curious, really interested, like just really looking forward to seeing what he's going to do to Barry, and if Barry is going to crack, you know. I don't know if it's going to be a thing where like Barry if Barry gets the best of Jim and he like tricks him or something, or if Jim is like that good that he could crack Barry and get him to confess, or I don't know. But y'all, he's trapped, and he deserves it, okay? He deserves it for being stupid to go to LA and think that, like, what did he think was gonna happen? Like, even if he went and successfully killed Kusano, you're in LA, and now they're talking about doing this movie. Don't you think there would be some type of connection? But again, he does not think. All he does is like picture what he wants to do, and then he goes for it. Like, he doesn't think about the consequences. He doesn't think about the aftermath of things. And it's like, that wouldn't make sense, because like if Kusano turns up dead, he would be suspect number 1 for sure. So it's like, again, not thinking about that. And he claims that he's trying to protect his son, and he doesn't want, you know, the story to get out and for his son to see it and everything. But it's like, that's not the real reason, though. Maybe that's part of it, but it really just comes down to Barry just being selfish is what it is. And that's who he's always been since the show started, at least from what we've seen. And yeah, I'm just really curious to see what Jim is gonna do. Like, I want Jim to shake him, man. I want Barry on the floor quivering, okay? I want him begging for forgiveness. Like there was one scene in season 3 when Albert, the guy that he served with, had the gun to it, and he just like broke down. Like, I want him like that. I want him begging Jim to like not kill him. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen. I don't know if Jim is gonna like actually kill him, or if it's just gonna be the mental torture thing, or if it's just to get him to confess so that he could go back to prison. I don't know. You guys know how I feel about it. I've said it one too many times that I think Barry should die. I don't think he deserves a happy ending at all after everything that he's done. And after everything that he's just put people through, and that's not to say that, like, everybody else is a saint and Barry is the only bad one, but it's like, he's just done too much, you know? And now he's playing with God's name. I don't like that. He's trying to use faith to cover up the fact that he's just, like, no good. And it's just like, dude, you need to go away, okay? I was rooting for you, like, in the first season, a little bit in the second season, but it's like you've completely used up all your chances at this point, so He might, maybe he will go back to prison in the end, but I feel like he should just die, honestly. And it's sad because he has a kid now, but it's like maybe his kid would be better off without him, to be honest. So I don't know. Y'all, let me know what you think. How you want to see how the series ends. What did you think about this episode in particular? Like, what are your theories for the next 2 episodes? I don't even know what's gonna happen with the rest of them, honestly. But I just feel like it's this ripple effect. It's like whatever happens with Barry, it just goes on to everybody else. So like if Barry dies, that'll be a big thing for all of them. If he goes back to prison, it'll be something for all of them. If he escapes Jim some kind of way, or Jim lets him go, which I don't see that happening, but who knows? The show is crazy. If if he gets away from Jim and he goes after like Kusno again or somebody, I don't know. Whatever he does, I just feel like it trickles on to everybody else. So I'm worried. I'm really worried for everybody else is what it is. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. It's about to be crazy, but I'm definitely looking forward to the new episode tomorrow. I wish I could like live stream me watching it some kind of way. I'm not really sure how to do that. I thought about doing it on TikTok, but then it's like I don't know how to show. Listen, I'm not that great with this kind of stuff. I don't know how to show the screen and show me reacting to it. Like, obviously, I know how to go live on TikTok, but I don't know. I thought about trying to do that, but I just feel like I would mess it up some kind of way. So maybe with the finale, I could try to do something like that. Go live and just watch the episode. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. Also, before I go though, now that Barry is going to be coming to an end soon, we're going to go back into talking about, other TV shows, other films. I think I'm going to, pick back up doing movie reviews. Y'all, if y'all didn't already know, The Little Mermaid is coming out next weekend, May 26th. So I'm going to see that. I definitely want to do a review on that. I feel like my hair is giving Ariel. Let me know if you feel the same. I feel like it's very much like Ariel, but that's not why I got it. But I just looking at it, I'm like, it feels like Ariel. I feel like Little Mermaid here. But yeah, I'm definitely going to see that. So I will do a movie review for that if you guys want me to. I'm trying to think, is there any other big movies coming out that I plan on seeing? There's going to be a lot of movies coming out this summer, I feel like, but that one for sure I'm going to go see. And, yeah, as always, if you guys have recommendations for TV shows, for films, anything that you kind of want me to react to or discuss, please let me know in the comments, or, hit me up on my socials or message me or anything like that. And just give me some good ideas, because there's so much TV and stuff out there. I feel like there's a lot I'm probably missing out on. And it doesn't have to be something, like, completely new. It could be something that's been out already. I just, I try to kind of react to things, like, as far as, like, trailers and stuff of new things that have come out or that are coming out. I have been watching the new, I don't want to say new season, but, like, the spinoff of Bridgerton, the Queen Charlotte show. That's pretty good. I thought about getting into that if you guys want me to, but then I'm already on like the second to the last episode, so I don't know if it would be worth it to like talk. But we could talk about it maybe. I don't know. It's such a good show. Like, that whole series is really good. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So just let me know like what type of content you guys want me to do, and I'll start trying to plan ahead of what I could talk about for after Barry and everything. First of all, we're going to have a whole episode talking about Barry as a series, and just let me mourn the show, let me mourn the cast, just let me mourn everything that we're not going to have anymore, and then I'll be able to get over it and go on to other stuff. But anyway, I'm going to end that right here. Thank you guys for tuning in and for watching. I appreciate any interactions, any comments, any likes, all of that good stuff. I really appreciate it. It gives me the motivation to keep going and lets me know that you guys enjoy what I do. I will see you guys next weekend. Hopefully I'll be on time. I know I've been late like the past couple of times. I try to be on time, but sometimes things happen. But of course, if you follow my Facebook page, then you'll see I'll give you guys updates like, today. I wasn't able to start until 2, but I let you guys know that. Or if there happens to be a day where I have to cancel and I'm just not filming live, then I'll let you guys know. So that's why it's good to follow my socials to keep up with stuff like that. And yeah, we'll be talking about episode 7 next week. Here we go, second to the last episode of the series finale. I'm not ready, but I am ready because I want to see what's gonna happen. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of the week, and I will see you then. Bye bye.